I received several Nokia phones sent by fans. The fan said that this old Nokia phone was bought by his father in the 1990s for 20,000 yuan. At the time, he was still in elementary school. He thought his father was especially impressive back then, and it planted a seed in his heart from that moment. This Nokia N8 has many precious photos inside. I'll try to power it on and recover the photos. He hopes I can make a video and share his story with Nokia. In the year 2000, his father's business failed, but he worked hard and got into a key high school. Later, he took out a loan to finish college. During this time, more and more of his friends and classmates used mobile phones, and he knew he would have one too. Just a little later, at the end of 2010, the Nokia N8 was released. At the same time, the world-changing iPhone 4 was also launched. Although the iPhone 4 amazed the world, Nokia was still his dream. However, that year, he had just gotten married and had children. Although life had improved a little, spending over 5,000 yuan on a phone was still too luxurious for him. By 2012, his small business started to get on track, and the price of the Nokia N8 had dropped from over 5,000 yuan to 2,800 yuan. He was finally able to make his wish come true, although by then, Nokia was no longer as glorious. When he bought the phone and walked out of the store, he was teary-eyed. After 10 years, he had finally come out of his difficulties. By the end of 2015, the Nokia N8 he had used for over 3 years finally stopped working and wouldn't power on. There were photos of his children inside, so he had kept it. Some people quietly watch videos, but they secretly like, comment, share, repost, and follow. Such people are really adorable. Let's check the power meter to test it. When pressing the power button, the current reading showed that it could power on. Could it be that the battery was just too low to turn on? We'll activate the battery, connect the screen and battery, and press the power button. The Nokia logo appeared, so it seems it was just a battery issue. However, after the system booted up, the touch screen didn't respond at all. Could it be that the screen was damaged? I found an original, dismantled screen from my collection of old parts and installed it to test. After replacing the screen, the phone still didn't respond to touch. It seems it's not that simple. The Touch IC for the Nokia N8 is integrated into the screen, and the motherboard's connector only provides power. Let's test the resistance of the touch connector. When testing the connector's pin, the resistance turned out to be OL. This pin is for power supply, and normally it should have some resistance. The 3 capacitors below are the power supply for the touch screen, and we tested them to find they connect to the leftmost one. Let's test the resistance of this capacitor. It also showed OL, meaning there was no power supply. The touchscreen power is supplied by this power supply tube. So we tested the corresponding test point near the power supply tube, and the resistance was also OL. This proves that the power supply tube is damaged, whereas a cold solder joint. We used a heat gun to remove the touch power supply tube. Since this is an old chip, we definitely can't find a replacement, but the power supply tube can be bypassed. We used copper wire to short circuit all 3 power supplies. After that, we tested again. Okay, the resistance of all 3 power supplies is normal now. We tested the resistance of the touch pins, and it returned to normal. After reassembling the screen, we tested again. The phone booted up and worked normally. I swiped left and right and saw the photos of fans' kids and family. It felt like time had been pulled back to 2015. The smiles in these photos were full of happiness after enduring hardships. We continued to clean and reinstall the phone. The fan said that during the most difficult 10 years, the image of his father buying that old Nokia kept flashing in front of his eyes. I guess what he missed wasn't just the phone, but the happy life he had when he owned a Nokia. We have started a charitable project, and all the earnings from this video will be used to rescue stray cats. If you are willing to help these poor furry babies, you can send gifts in the comments section. To avoid causing any financial burden, the gifts don't need to exceed $1.